It is now the 5th of November. Today we stand up for those whose lives were stolen and for those voices who were silenced by the political elite. Today and on election day we stand together in union, as individuals. Our government was meant to be a support for the people, run by the people, but instead it has become an oligarchy of ruling class families. This incestuous system has created an establishment class where the media, the politicians, the lobbyists and special interests are beholden to nothing but money and power. They seek to keep their power, so they keep the people asleep and easier to conquer. They divide us into food groups by race, gender and religion because there are those who do not want us to speak. Words offer the means to meaning, and for those who will listen, the enunciation of truth. And the truth is, there is something terribly wrong within this country, isn't there? There are names the Democrat Party refuses to speak. There is cruelty and injustice, intolerance and oppression both parties do not seek to fix but only perpetuate. Let us recount what we have seen thus far this year. A primary coronation and multiple assassinations. We have seen the funding and arms supply for terror coming from our officials, and we have seen the purpose for mass incarceration as they deem segments of this population unqualified and incapable. We have seen behind the curtain of the media collusion to destroy the lives of the men and women who fight back. We have seen that our politicians take part in child sex slavery, and we have watched the media cover it up. What we have not seen is correspondence between those with power where they seek to help the individuals in need. We have only seen them perpetuate their personal greed. Those with power and access enrich themselves off the suffering of others. How did this happen? Who's to blame? Well, certainly there are those more responsible than others, and they will be held accountable. But again, truth be told, if you're looking for the guilty, you need only look into a mirror. We have seen the populist movements of Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump rise up against corporate government. These men were not the establishment's presidential choice, but they are the people's representation in politics. Which is why their movements have torn at the fabric of politics as we know it. We have two options this November 8th. We have watched one candidate face the great featuring off battling every elite power force. We watched him stand up to the establishment bullies and say to the people, I'm with you. I will fight for you. But this is not the narrative the legacy media or the oligarchy wants you to hear. So his messages are buried in media storms coordinated by both political parties, filled with fake controversies and false labels. The DNC hires mentally ill and homeless Americans to cause violence at his events so that the media can paint him as violent. The RNC stages a coup and coordinates the release of an unseemly audio tape to paint him as a sexist. Whether he wins or loses, he comes out of this fight with a reputation irreparably damaged. Do you think he is having fun? Why would he go on this journey if he did not feel that he had to vote for you? The other candidate is facing indictment. She was caught destroying documents of the state, owned by the people, after the people requested to see them. She could not keep our secrets safe, because that was never her intention or priority. Her priority is herself, and when asked, her priority becomes supporting the policies of her corporate owners. You must, by now, realize, there is no such thing as Hillary Clinton, and that should scare all of us. There is only a puppet tailored to the audience of the day, constructed and focus group to meet the needs and expectations of a given voting group. She is not the exception from elite politicians. She is the rule. She calls for you to be with her. Then she promises you order. She promises you peace. And all she demands in return is your silent, obedient consent. WikiLeaks has sought to end that silence, to remind everyone that fairness, justice, and freedom are more than words. They are perspectives. So if you've seen nothing, if the crimes of this puppet government controlled by global corporate interests remain unknown to you, then I would suggest you allow the 8th of November to pass unmarked. But if you see what I see, if you feel as I feel, and if you would seek as I seek, then I ask you to stand beside me today and on election day. Stand together today outside, away from the anonymity of your screen, to inspire others to do the same. And come election day, stand up for yourself and we shall give them an election that shall never, ever be forgot. Remember, this 8th of November, we are anonymous. We are calling for a civic revolution. We do not forgive. We do not forget.
Our movement is about replacing a failed and corrupt political establishment with a new government controlled by you, the American people. The Washington establishment and the financial and media corporations that fund it exist for only one reason: to protect and enrich itself. The establishment has trillions of dollars at stake in this election. For those who control the levers of power in Washington and for the global special interest, they partner with these people that don't have your good in mind. Our campaign represents a true existential threat like they haven't seen before. This is not simply another four-year election. This is a crossroads in the history of our civilization that will determine whether or not we, the people, reclaim control over our government. The political establishment that is trying to stop us is the same group responsible for our disastrous trade deals, massive illegal immigration, and economic and foreign policies that have bled our country dry. The political establishment has brought about the destruction of our factories and our jobs as they flee to Mexico, China, and other countries all around the world. It's a global power structure that is responsible for the economic decisions that have robbed our working class, stripped our country of its wealth, and put that money into the pockets of a handful of large corporations and political entities. This is a struggle for the survival of our nation, and this will be our last chance to save it. This election will determine whether we're a free nation or whether we have only the illusion of democracy, but are in fact controlled by a small handful of global special interests rigging the system, and our system is rigged. This is reality. You know it, they know it, I know it, and pretty much the whole world knows it. The Clinton machine is at the center of this power structure. We've seen this firsthand in the WikiLeaks documents, in which Hillary Clinton meets in secret with international banks to plot the destruction of U.S. sovereignty in order to enrich these global financial powers, her special interest friends, and her donors. Honestly, she should be locked up. The most powerful weapon deployed by the Clintons is the corporate media, the press. Let's be clear on one thing. The corporate media in our country is no longer involved in journalism. They're a political special interest, no different than any lobbyist or other financial entity with a total political agenda, and the agenda is not for you, it's for themselves. Anyone who challenges their control is deemed a sexist, a racist, a xenophobe. They will lie, and then again, they will do worse than that. They will do whatever's necessary. The Clintons are criminals, remember that. This is well documented, and the establishment that protects them has engaged in a massive cover-up of widespread criminal activity at the State Department and the Clinton Foundation in order to keep the Clintons in power. They knew they would throw every lie they could at me and my family and my loved ones. They knew they would stop at nothing to try to stop me. Nevertheless, I take all of these slings and arrows gladly for you. I take them for our movement so that we can have our country back. I knew this day would arrive. It's only a question of when. And I knew the American people would rise above it and vote for the future they deserve. The only thing that can stop this corrupt machine is you. The only force strong enough to save our country is us. The only people brave enough to vote out this corrupt establishment is you, the American people. Our great civilization has come upon a moment of reckoning. I didn't need to do this, folks, believe me. I built a great company, and I had a wonderful life. I could have enjoyed the fruits and benefit of years of successful business deals and businesses for myself and my family, instead of going through this absolute horror show of lies, deceptions, malicious attacks. Who would have thought? I'm doing it because this country has given me so much, and I feel so strongly that it's my turn to give back to the country that I love. I'm doing this for the people and for the movement, and we will take back this country for you, and we will make America great again.